Welcome to Ambafx weekly forex forecast. So let's check the fundamental. So last week, the two important ones we have last week is the Fed testify and then the NFP out of the US dollar. So after the Fed testify last week, one California bank, that is the SVB, after the so this is the stock performance of that bank. So we have the SB announcement for capitalists after the Jerome Powell testimony. So what causes all this collapse in the bank is like a high in this is the explanation. So lies in the rising interest rate environment, as high interest rates cause the market for share public cut down for many startups and made private funding, that is fundraising, more costly. That is the IPO. So some FB clients started pulling money out, so they started withdrawing their money from that bank. So that is what caused the collapse of that bank. So almost $100 billion was lost. So what can we deduce from this? Fed rising interest rates, too much interest rate hike, it's very, very bad for the economy. So last week we are seeing some risk off coming into the market, which makes all the commodity currency weaker, and then the risk of currencies such as gold, the CHF, the JPY becoming very stronger. This week we should see the continuation, but we can't throw away the retracement. So what are we looking at this week? This week we are looking at the CPI coming out of the US dollar on Tuesday. So we are looking at the CPI print, that's on Tuesday. So this is what will give us clue. Maybe there is more room for interest rate hike or interest rate cut. So we are focusing on the US dollar CPI results on Tuesday to know the next direction in the US dollar pairs. So on Wednesday we have the GBP annual budgeting, and on Wednesday too we have copy pair, that's producer price index out of the US dollar on Wednesday. This is a high impact news too. On Thursday we have the unemployment change out of the Australian dollar, and then Thursday we have to focus on the monetary policy out of the euro. So what we can deduce from all of this is that market might not actually move on Monday on USD pair, then we'll have the move on Tuesday after the CPI print. And then as for the euro, we might not have much movement in the currency pair unless there is drop in the monetary statement report on Thursday. So let's go back to the technical and see where we are going to put our entry, and then the analysis. So we saw a sharp decline here after the NFP report on Friday. So we saw DSY move to the downside when we have a disappointing one in the unemployment rate. So that's when we have this long bearish candle on Friday. So before the market closed on Friday, we saw a decline from that particular support right there, which means that we have not ruled out the SY to the upside, especially if we have the CPI coming out better than expected on Tuesday. We'll have a more move to the upside on DXY. So this is favoring all the commodity currency to the downside and the safe haven currency to the upside. It means that we have CAD JPY sell, we have AUD JPY sell, we have SND JPY sell. Those are my favorite pair this week to go long. So to go short, yeah. So on this DSY, we are going to wait for what will happen on Tuesday before we know the direction going on DXY. So the first pair I want to check out right now is the Euro USD. So on Euro USD, I'm favoring a downside movement. So after we see a respect of this particular support level, then we see a move and a break this particular trend line right here, then we see a decline, which means that we are back to that particular level. So if we use the 4-hour time frame, let's use the 4-hour time frame. So using the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we have a decline from this level right there. So this level serves as the resistance level. As you can see, this level standard. So we might see a decline to this 1.03059, especially if the CPI print comes out better than expected on Tuesday. But if we have a disappointing report out of the CPI, so we should have the break of this particular trendline level, then a move to the upside. So we are waiting for Tuesday to after the CPI report. So we are going to be reactive to the news, not predictive. So let's wait for the outcome of the news. Maybe we are going to have the continuation to this side, or we should have. So we have to wait for the CPI print on Tuesday to know the actual direction of Euro USD. So we have two projection, and if the CPI print comes up better than expected, we should have the decline from this particular area. Then if we have a negative CPI print, then we should have a breakout, and then we should be on the buy on Euro USD. So same thing on DBP USD, as in it is in a very crucial trade right now. So here we can see that we have the respect of this trend line at this particular area. So if we have a positive CPI, then we should have a decline at this particular level. So on Tuesday, if we have a negative CPI, then we should have a movement to the upside, which the target is at 1.23989 or 1.2400. So here, if we have a positive CPI, the first take profit should be at 1.9356, and then the second take profit should be at this level at 1.804. So let's put it in the safe place as 1.18330. So let's look at the AUD USD. I talk about the commodity currency being weak as we are in the risk off moment. So now what we are looking for here is that if you check this AUD USD very well, you can see that we are in a series of lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Let's use a lower high, lower low, lower high, then another lower low, lower high, then another lower low. So there is a build up at this lower low. So we can see a retracement to this particular level, creating a new lower high at that particular level, and then decline to the downside. So we can see it creating a lower high to this particular area. Then this is the target, because opposite force might eventually come in at this level at 0.64877. So waiting for it to retrace, we might see a retracement to this particular level before the decline on AUD USD. So it's all based on what happened at the CPI print on Tuesday. Maybe we have a positive CPI or a negative CPI. So if we have a positive CPI, then we should see a decline to 0.64877. So if you have a negative one, then we should see a breakout of this particular area, forming a new higher low. So if we have a breakout of this area, then we have formed a new higher low to the upside. So but now we are still favoring a down movement on AUD USD. So the next one I want to take is the SND USD. So in SND USD, there is something we are looking at on SND USD since last week. So I did this analysis last week. Then if we have a positive CPI print, then we should maybe on Monday we can see a retracement to 0.61980. Then after the CPI print on Monday, we can see on Tuesday rather, we can see the decline to 0.59607. That's what I'm looking at on SND US dollar. So if you check the last week weekly forex forecast, you will see that this is what I did there, that we are going to see adjustment to this level, then to this level. I didn't even know we will have a CPI print this week. So after the CPI print, if the CPI comes out better than expected, we should see a decline. But if it comes out let's say worse or negative, so we should see the break of this particular trend line, a retest if there will be one, then a move to the upside. So all lies on what we call the CPI report. So on Canadian dollar JPY, this is my projection on Canadian dollar JPY. As you can see, we have a decline from this particular area. There is a breakout of this level. There's a respect of this trend line at this level. So we have a breakout, a retest, and a rejection. So the rejection come out at the supply level, which and I told you that the commodity currency against the risk of currency is one of my best bets this week. So we are having what we are looking at is that we might see a retracement on this pair, maybe on Tuesday or Monday. So any retracement you see will be an opportunity for you to sell to 92545. So any retracement you see on Canadian dollar JPY is an opportunity for you to look for a sell setup to 92545. So the first take profit you might want to be on the safer side. The first take profit might be 95.287, while the second one is 92.545. So that is my view on Canadian dollar JPY. So the next one I want to check is US dollar JPY. So on US dollar JPY too, we saw a decline at this supply level last week. So what I'm looking at this week is if we have a negative CPI print, that is when I'm trading this particular currency pair right now. So if we have a negative CPI print, that's where I will be trading this particular currency pair. So maybe you can see retracement, but on Tuesday if we have a negative CPI print, you should be looking to sell to 132.359. if that might actually be the first take profit. Then the second take profit will be at this area, which is 128,500. So that is what I'm looking on US dollar JPY. So if we have a positive CPI print, then actually we should see the break of this particular supply level to the upside, then maybe a retracement if there will be one, then a continuation to the upside. So the next one I want to check is the AUD JPY. AUD JPY 2 is a commodity currency versus the safe haven currency. So I'll be looking to trade this one too. We might actually see a retracement to the upside, then we might actually see the rejection at this supply level, then to 86,053. So to 86,053. So this is where I'm looking to take the short position. So any retracement you see on AUD JPY is an opportunity for you to look for a sell setup to 86,053. So the next one I want to check is AUD Swiss franc. So AUD Swiss franc, last week we talked about the move from this particular area from here that is going to hit this level. Now it has hit and breakout of this particular support level. So what we are looking at is a retracement. Any retracement you see is an opportunity for you to sell to 0.58706. So this one too is a commodity currency versus the safe haven currency, that is the Swiss franc. So the next one I want to check is the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. So this one is commodity currency versus the commodity currency. So let's switch to the 4-hour time frame. So switch to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that this is in a downtrend. So and there is a retracement here already, but the retracement might not be over yet. So we might still see a move to this particular area, which then we might see a decline at this particular area. We might see a decline at 0.91581, which is the supply level. So if this 4-hour closes bearish, this is the entry right there. So if this 4-hour closes bearish on Monday, then we have another bearish candle, so we should sell from this particular area. But if it did not close bearish, if it closes bullish like this, and we should wait for it here to decline so that we can sell from the right place. So any retracement you see here to this side, it's an opportunity for you to look for a sell setup. So it becomes invalid if we have a break of this particular area to the upside. That is it will be like that break of this particular structure. So it will become invalid if there is a break of this particular structure right here to the upside. So what I'm looking at on AUD card is to the downside, as we are having the overall trend direction to the upside. So Euro JPY, there's two things we have to look at this particular area. Here there is a support level at this particular area. So that is why on Euro, we have this thing coming out on the Euro later on Thursday. That is the ECB rate hike on interest rate report, not rate hike, interest rate report on Thursday out of the ECB. So from Monday to Thursday, we might not see much reaction on Europe here until Thursday. So which might make this be in a consolidative mode till Thursday. So maybe after that, then we might now see a move to the downside or to the upside. So depend on what actually happened after the interest rate report. I'm favoring to the upside because, as you can see, we have a 4-hour candle closes bullish on Thursday, sorry, on Friday. So this is a 4-hour candle. After we have a decline in most of the JPY/PS, this one rejects and then closes the 4-hour candlestick bullish. So this is the 4-hour candlestick. It's closed bullish on Friday. So we might actually see a move to the upside. Yeah. So if I want to trade this, I'll be favoring to the upside because we have a breakout structure at this particular area. Then we have the support level at this area, which we might see a rejection. Yeah, but if we break this particular support, that is, it means that we are coming down to this particular area to 142379. So if we respect it, it means that our take profit should be at 145245. So the last one we want to check out is the Euro AUD. So forget about it. This Euro AUD, we should see a retracement this week. The weekly retracement should come in on Euro AUD, even though we are still going to break that particular resistance level because we have a commodity currency versus the euro, and then I'm favoring most commodity currency to the downside because we are in a risk-off moment. So if you take a risk-off moment, you will see that the CHF, the JPY, the gold will be stronger in a risk-off environment. But here we are now at the resistance level in Euro AUD, which means that we might have a retracement before direction to the upside. So what I'm favoring here is use your Fibonacci retracement tools to dictate where the retracement might end, and then use the opportunity to take your profit because we are at resistance level already, and then there should be a pullback, even though it's still going to break that particular resistance level. So this is where I'm shorting on Monday. I might be shorting to 0. That is a 50% Fibonacci retracement level. That is where I'm taking my profit after shorting Euro AUD on Monday. So this is what I'm looking at. Let's use it for our time frame. So this is what I'm looking at to take my profit on Monday. That is 0.5949. So we can actually see like 100 pips here on Monday because the confirmation number one is that we are at the resistance level, and this resistance level is a very strong one, which eventually might create a pullback. So pullback, then we should see Euro USD creating the weekly retracement and they reject at 0.50 or 0.382, if not 0.61, that's 1.8 Fibonacci retracement level. So this is the resistance right there, and then it has hit the resistance. So we are expecting a pullback to one of these levels before the continuation to the upside. So if you are new to the channel, please click on like, subscribe, and share this video. This is a weekly forex forecast, and this is based on my own point of view on my own analysis. So this is not an investment advice. This is just for educational purpose. So do your own due diligence, do your own analysis, and see if it fits into your entry. So the last one, let's check out gold. So as I said earlier, I said in a risk-off environment, you will see gold flying high, the JPY will be strong, and then actually we'll have a strong US dollar too. Then the Swiss franc will be strong. So here, gold has break the neckline at this particular area. As you can see, we have break this neckline at this particular area. So we are looking for more push to the upside, which might create a retracement before any further move to the upside. So that's what we are looking for or looking out for in gold in the next coming days or in the next coming week. So we should, as the SVB bank crash, and I think as Fed increase more interest rates, everybody should be taking their money to the safe haven currency because banks too are no more secured now. We can have any bank crash at any time. So people should I think people will be taking their money, especially gold. People will buy more gold, which will make gold to rally in the coming weeks or in the coming months. So that's a weekly forex forecast. See you next time.